Hello, do you know why you choose a specific option when creating your Android application? Or you just do so because that's how you were told to do? Maybe. In this video, I want us to go through the Android project creation in details so that we can see what are the key points we need to pay attention to when creating an Android application. This will greatly help to avoid problems during the release of your application or problems which could be as a result of poor application creation. So let's see into this. Android Studio make it easy for us to create an application by providing us with various options to rapidly get started with our new application. So this option depends on the platforms you wish to create your application for. There are a bunch of them, as you can see here, but what we are interested in is the Android phones, applications for Android phones. So the first option you can see is no activity. This is used if you want to create an application with no activity, with no layout, just the application. So the second option is used when you want to create an application having some basic starter code for the activity and fragments, because this option will create you an activity with two fragments and a navigation component which will link both fragments in the activity. And the third option is used if you want to start your application with a bottom navigation. Example of such a bottom navigation is what you see on application like Instagram, yes, or LinkedIn, yes. So if you want to start your application with such a UI, this can be helpful. This can be helpful in that sense. And so this will create an activity and fragment and create UI with starter code for this type of display. The fourth option is used when you need to create an activity just with the activity code and the layout. This is very common for developers which like high level of customization. So you just create the activity and you create the layout, and every other component needed are put manually. And the next option is used when you need an activity that can be displayed in full screen mode. Example of such can be on the splash screen or any other activity which you want to display in full screen mode. So this can be a good option if you want to create an application with main activity having this kind of UI. The next option is for an activity where you want to display the Google AdMob advert, and in this option provides you with starter code so that you can rapidly get started and create your activity. And the next one is for Google Map activity. So if you intend to have your activity, if you intend to have an activity that displays Google Maps, then this option is a good place to start. The next one is for an activity where the UI is made up of login screen, where you need the user to log in with an email and password. So this option provides you with starter code for that, and also some basic UI design for the for an edit text for the email, edit text for the password, and a button to log in. So if your requirements are in this, if your requirements show this, then this can be a good place to start. The next one is for a master detail flow. A master detail flow is a situation where you have the first screen show usually a list, and when you tap on this list, you show more information about the selected item in another screen. This is mostly used in tablets. If you have in tablets where you have a list and you click on the right of the tablet, details about the selected item is shown, or used in situations where you have a list and you click on the list and the next screen shows details about the selected item. So if you don't know how to do and you want to have and your application needs this kind of scenario, then the master detail flow can be a good place to start. Next one is if you want to create an application and you need some starter code for a navigation drawer. Navigation drawer is a UI component which when you swipe from left to right, it shows it brings out a UI component which is usually hidden. You can easily find such navigation drawer in applications like Twitter. On Twitter, when you swipe from left to right, you see the profile on the UI on the navigation drawer. You can also have that on something like Facebook, I think so. So if your application needs this kind of requirement, then this can be a good place for you to start. And the next one is to help you easily create your settings screen. If you have requirement to create settings screen, then this can be very good starter code for it. And the next one is scrolling activity. This is usually used in situations where you have an activity where you want to be able to scroll, where the top part of this activity have kind of animations. If you go to your Twitter profile and you scroll, you will see that this kind of animation, the top part of this screen, usually different from the rest of the screen, and this screen can scroll. This can be a very good place to start. And the next one is for an activity where the top part just below the action bar contain tabs where you want to be able to tap. Example of it is also on the Facebook main activity. You'll find out that you can easily navigate through tabs. So if you have this kind of requirement, then this option can be a very good place to start. And the next one can be used for advanced developers where they want to create a fragment and a view model. The view model for this fragment, then I will suggest you to start with this. And the last but not the least is when you want to create a new project with an empty activity which is configured to use the GNI. This is usually used for applications for where you have requirement to use the C++, and I think it's mostly used in a gaming application. People who do games on Android, then this can be useful for them. So once you've found the right option for your application, you choose. For this case, I will choose empty activity and click on the next button. And after that, you have a second screen where you can have where the first option is to put the name of the application. The name of the application is what will be seen by the users on their mobile devices once they install your application. I'm sure all of us have mobile phones, and when you go to your mobile phone, you see various applications with various names. So this is the name. So this is the name for your application. Let's put my app, for example, as the name of this application. So this is the name which the user will see once they install this application on their mobile device. The package name. The package name is what uniquely identifies your application. It's very important that you understand the package name. The package name is what uniquely identifies your application on the Android device and also on distribution platforms like the Google Play, Amazon App Store, Samsung Galaxy App Store, Mobile Genie App Store, and also store like F-Droid, because two applications cannot have the same package name. So, and the package name is what uniquely identifies your application on various platforms and on the mobile device of the user. So, to give a package name, it's usually advisable to give a reverse domain name. For example, if my domain is Nathan, I will give as the name of my application, for example, like com.nathan.myapp, because there's no way two websites will have the same domain name. So the domain name is usually unique. So that's why it's advisable to give like a reverse domain name to your application as a package name. So pay attention to the package name. Also, one thing to note about the package name is that once you've distributed your application with this package name, there's no way you can change the package name again. You understand? So this is very important. And the next one is the location, the path for your application. The one thing about the path is that avoid having spaces in the path of your application. This can lead to problems. This can lead to a problem if you're running things from the terminal. Spaces are usually error prone when you run things on the terminal. So avoid having space in the location of your application. And the next option is to select the language. Android supports both Java and Kotlin. Google has been putting Kotlin forward as a preferred language for Android development, but still many applications run on Java. But I would advise you to choose the language you feel more comfortable with, but putting in mind that as time go by, Kotlin will definitely become the preferred language for Android applications. So keep that in mind. Now the minimum SDK. This is another one thing where developers make errors, in the sense that developers always want to give minimum SDK something below Android 5, and I will never recommend this, because the lower you go as a minimum SDK for your application, the less features your application can support. You understand what I'm saying? It's not good. Actually, it's not good to give as minimum SDK an API below API 21, which is Android 5. I will recommend you to give minimum SDK from 5 and above, because if you go, I know in all applications we want to support and we want to have as many users as possible, but it's needless having a high number of potential users, but being not able to give them the best experience they deserve. You understand what I'm saying? So I will advise you to give as minimum SDK at least Android 5. Yes. So once that is done, then you can click on finish. And for use legacy, no, I don't think you need to use legacy Android support libraries, because Android libraries are usually backward compatible, and now we have Android X, so no need to use legacy libraries. Everything is already supported. So once you've done that, you click on finish, and this will create your application successfully. And now we can now say you've created your application following the standard and paying attention to the points that matters. So feel free to drop us questions in the comment section below. Ask us questions. We will be happy to answer all your questions. Share if you like it. If you think can help someone, share with other developers you know. And subscribe if you like. And see you in the next video. Peace.